Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you've all had a lovely week. I know I've had such a busy week, but nonetheless it's been amazing. The weather's been okay, but I don't like too much heat, so I've been happy. But it's been such a lovely week and I'm back again. I just want to say hello to everyone, greet you all, hope you've been well. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your shares, and thank you to all my friends that have been reaching out to me and telling me what a good job that I'm doing. Thank you. It really isn't easy, but I'm here yet again. It's a new week. I still have the same cold. It's refusing to go. I've tried some remedies, but that wasn't going to stop me from recording this video. But you probably heard my voice, but that's okay, we move. So today I'm back with this video, like I said from my last video, that I would be giving you guys some tips to improve your mood. Over the last few videos, I've spoken about depression, I've spoken about anxiety, I've spoken about low mood, and I've spoken about suicidal ideation. And I'll link those in the cards, so just look above. Every now and then you'll see a link to my other videos, so check them out, because it will make sense. It will make a lot more sense if you watch them first, so that you can understand what I'm talking about here. But even if you haven't, this video will still make sense to you, so you don't have to worry. But yes, today I'm going to be speaking about tips on how to improve your mood, boost your mood, lift your mood, because sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or sometimes we wake up and we're just like, oh, I'd rather just stay in bed. Like, what is there to live for? I don't want to go to work, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to go out. Sometimes we can have these feelings, and you know what, some feelings are fleeting. Like, some of these feelings we have and thoughts we have do come and go, and for some people these feelings are long lasting. And I sort of explained the differences between those in my previous video, so definitely check it out so that you understand. But I won't go into too much of that so that I'm not repeating myself. But for those days that we have our fleeting feelings where we just don't feel bothered or we feel overwhelmed, I hope these tips would help you out. So we know those happy hormones, we've heard them before: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. These are what they call the happy hormones, good feeling hormones that we can actually boost naturally. Of course, you see them artificially in drugs, from illegal drugs to actually drugs that are prescribed, usually for people with anxiety and or depression and other conditions as well, to regulate that mood, because these hormones deal with how we feel. And with a lot of conditions, the problem is because some of the chemicals are imbalanced. And again, if you go to my previous videos, you understand better what I'm talking about. But ultimately, we want to feel good. But the thing is, as human beings and as individuals, we want to feel good before we do things. We want to feel it first before we do it. We want to feel that it's worth it. We want to feel motivated. We want to feel excited. We want a spark. And sometimes it's not realistic, because if we spent our life waiting to feel it, then we probably won't get a lot of things done. We probably wouldn't have progressed in life. I probably won't be where I am today if I waited on how I felt, because usually at first I don't feel good about things, and that's because I've dealt with symptoms of anxiety and low mood here and there. But if I waited to feel before I did things, there are a lot of things that I have now, that I can proudly say I have now, that I've accomplished now. I wouldn't have them if I waited on feeling it. And so my first tip, ladies and gentlemen, is don't wait to feel good before you get it done. I know it sounds like, okay, don't wait to feel good. That's my first tip. Don't wait to feel it. So it's a case of mind over mood. If you feel crap in the morning, for instance, or if you feel annoyed, or if you feel angry, but there's something you need to get done, do it anyway. because your feelings may change. And literally, feelings are also chemicals in the brain that respond to stimuli in our environment. So for instance, when you go outside and it's winter, you feel cold, right? That's completely natural. If you go out in the summer, you may sweat, you feel hot, you feel clammy. That's completely normal, right? But does that stop you from going to work? Does it stop you from doing the activities that you need to do on a daily basis? No, it doesn't. But you figure out ways to manage your temperature so that you can get those things done. So same way for some of these negative emotions that you may feel. So you may feel crappy about doing a certain thing, or you may not feel bothered. I think that's quite a popular one. It's just not feeling bothered. So you may not feel bothered to do something, but you have to do it anyway, and this is why. So there are three tips that I will sort of expand on to make this more understandable. So the key to life in general is to stay active. Personally, when I'm idle or not doing anything, I have too much time to ruminate. I have too much time to think about things that are not going well in life. I have too much time to sulk. I have too much time to be pitying myself. There's too much time for me to be thinking about things that are not important. But being active is the first thing. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out there, go to the gym, book gym membership, go crazy, go ham, go on a sprint, do a jog for an hour. We have to be realistic. But a simple task just as walking, just moving your body, and naturally, and you've probably heard it before, releases those lovely endorphins that we need to make us feel good. So going out for a walk in fresh air is such an easy task, but it's so beneficial. It's easy and it's beneficial. Now, another hormone that I mentioned was serotonin. Serotonin, literally, you want to feel relaxed as well. So this is not about being lazy or about oversleeping, but you want to get enough sleep during the night. And I know the recommended sleep time is, I believe it's 6 to 8 hours. It may have changed, so definitely check that out. But you want to get enough sleep that works for you. So if you're going to bed late and waking up very early, it's not good for those hormones. Those hormones won't find space to truly perform well. So you want to get very good sleep. That will help your mood. And then obviously dopamine. So I've mentioned staying active, so keeping your body moving. So a good way of releasing dopamine naturally is to do a pleasurable activity. So activities that you enjoy, activities that you find entertaining, whether that's eating. Some people find eating entertaining. I know I do. I love to go out and have a lovely meal. That makes me feel good. I like to binge watch some series, some trash TV. You didn't hear that from me. That is actually pleasurable for me. I enjoy that. I enjoy watching reality TV. I love it. If I have reality TV, Chinese and real, you made my day. And I go out for a walk, you made my day. So what are activities that you find pleasurable? For some people, it's playing a video game. Of course, you want to, with all these pleasurable activities that we're doing, we want to have a limit on them as well, because we can't spend all day just doing pleasurable activity unless we're also accomplishing something, which is my next point, then fine. So you want to be active, like I've said, you want to do a pleasurable activity even before you feel to do it. So remember the very first tip was don't feel it. You don't have to feel good to do it. So you've woken up, you don't feel good, do that pleasurable activity, you've released some dopamine, go out for a walk, you've released some endorphins, and you've had a good night's sleep, serotonin. So then the next step again is to do an accomplishing activity. So that the accomplishing activity may not be an activity that you particularly enjoy doing, or again, it may fall into that bracket of an activity that you don't feel bothered to do. So I'll give you a very classic example. So for me, and I always say this to people, I don't always enjoy cooking, or I don't always feel excited to run into the kitchen and to smell the onions and to cut the onions and chop it and be like, yes, I'm ready to. whip up this dish. I'm so creative. I have all these recipes in my mind. I just want to go into the kitchen and explore and create and manifest. Or like, I don't go into the kitchen feeling that way. I go into the kitchen thinking, okay, me and my family need to survive, so we need to eat. That is it. But once I've finished cooking, I feel good. Why? My family's fed, Javi's happy, children are happy, I am happy. If I host my friends and I've cooked, again, to get into the kitchen to actually make something, I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I wish I could just snap and there's a chef here and there's whips up the food. But again, when I've hosted people and everyone's happy and I've finished cooking, I feel really good. So, and that is, it helps to release all these happy hormones that we need for our mood to naturally boost. So yes, like I've said, we don't have to feel it because feelings constantly changing. But the key to this whole video is not to feel it, but to do it. Anxiety, of course, falls under mood. For some of us, anxiety is really crippling us from doing the things that we actually want to do. So we actually want to do these things, but we feel uneasy about them. We feel worried about them. We feel scared. We don't want to fail. We don't want to trip up. But again, feel it, put it to the side and do it anyway. I recommend you to read Nike's Just Do It mission statement. It really speaks about what I'm speaking about here, about just do it. Just do it. Literally. And again, if you're struggling with mood and it's not something that's severe enough for you to go to your GP, talk about it. Talk about it with friends and family. And if you feel like your friends and family are not supportive or they don't understand, find a support group. Find a support group near you. Because there are things out there. Funding has increased with mental health. So even before there's been support groups, but I'm sure there are more support groups out there right now. It's just knowing where they are. It's just knowing who to contact. Google it. Google will always give you a support group near you. I recommend it. I think the good thing about support groups is you get the opportunity to speak to people that are in a similar situation. So you won't feel like you're somewhat draining people with all your problems, because everyone's there sharing their problems as well. So you're all in a similar boat. And so it's good to actually speak about how you're feeling and don't keep it inside. The last thing you want to do is keep inside how you're feeling, but don't allow your feelings to control your life. I'm on a journey now of learning it, living it, and leading it. So the fact that I can come here and share this with you, I'm leading it and teaching you about it because I've been educated about it. I've personally experienced it, and that's why I'm giving it back out there. And even the fact that I'm giving it back out there, I'm also speaking to myself because, yeah, there are days that are easier than others, and there are days where it's just like, oh gosh, there's so much to do in this day. But I count them all as blessings. If I was to count all the blessings I have, there are so many blessings. And because I have so many blessings, I have so many responsibilities. So if you have a lot of blessings, know that to sustain them, to maintain them, to keep them, you have to keep working at them. They're a blessing because someone worked so that you could have it. And so because you have it now, you don't want to lose these things. So stay active. Stay active, folks. Keep talking. Don't allow your emotions and feelings to control your life. Emotions and feelings are important. Yes, they indicate things, but they're not always accurate. They're not always accurate. So if they're not always accurate, look at the bigger picture. It may feel bad, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. So evaluate and examine the whole picture, right? If someone doesn't feel the need to bath, they feel like bathing is dangerous. Bathing obviously isn't dangerous. So, but because a person feels that they don't want to bath, does that mean they shouldn't bath? No, because they'll start to reek after a few days. But these are some of the things that people go through that are struggling. And so I'm not using it as jest. This is what people are going through on a daily basis. So I hope that video has helped you. I think I mentioned 4 tips. I've lost count. It was 4 or 5 that I mentioned. So definitely take notes. take notes, and after watching this video, how will you apply this to your life? You've listened to it, but how are you going to apply it to your life? What I would suggest is to make a list. So the first one was, even if it doesn't feel good, do it anyway. That's the first one. Your mood doesn't control what you do. What's important is what's important, and what's paramount is what you do. What is good is what you do, not what feels good, right? So do it so that you then feel motivated. Do it so that you then feel good. So that's the first tip. List out your pleasurable activities and try to do them during the day. List out your accomplishing activities and try to do it during the day. And get some fresh air and go for a walk. So that's 4. And when you keep doing this every day, I'm sure and I'm certain that your mood will improve and your mood will be boosted and lifted. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next week. I look forward to your comments. Share with someone that it can help, and have a lovely week. Bye guys.